All right. So one more uh, visiting of metta, loving kindness, kindness, kindness. Mm. How important that is, how simple and how important it is in our practice and in our lives. Yeah. Mm. So I want to read this poem, and most of you have heard it before. It really captures so much on so many levels about kindness, and also why we have a hard time accessing it. Yeah, yeah. This is a poem by Naomi Shihab Nye called Kindness. Called Kindness. If you'd like, maybe close your eyes and let the words let it really land for you. You know, I love to do this with a poem. I love to do this with a poem. Mm. Before you know what kindness really is, you must lose things. Feel the future dissolve in a moment, like salt in a weakened broth. What you counted and carefully saved, all this must go, so you know how desolate the landscape can be between the regions of kindness. How you ride and ride, thinking the bus will never stop. How you ride and ride, thinking the bus will never stop. The passengers eating maize and chicken will stare out the window forever. Before you learn the tender gravity of kindness, you must travel where the Indian in a white poncho lies dead by the side of the road. You must see how this could be you, how he too was someone who journeyed through the night with plans and the simple breath that kept him alive. Before you know kindness as the deepest thing inside, you must know sorrow as the other deepest thing. You must wake up with sorrow. You must speak to it till your voice catches the thread of all sorrows and you see the size of the cloth. Then it is only kindness that makes sense anymore. Only kindness that ties your shoes and sends you out into the day to mail letters and purchase bread. Only kindness that raises its head from the crowd of the world to say, "It is I you have been looking for," and then goes with you everywhere, like a shadow or a friend. There's so much that's so poignant about this poem. For one thing, it suggests that kindness is the deepest thing inside, not just some casual, nice thing on the surface of life, but coming forth as one of the deeper things, most obvious and deepest things in this life, but only obvious and deep if we've had the courage to touch into our own sorrow. And this is part of the dance of this practice, is that, yes, we want to practice metta, of course. Of course, it makes sense. But we can only practice, and I believe this, and this has been my experience. The reason that it comes forward as much as it comes forward now is because gradually, against, with all the resistances to it, with all the my not wanting to be with it at all, finally having to turn toward my own deepest sorrow and stop dancing around it, and stop imagining that it's not really the most important thing, or that it's not a real thing, or I should change the channel, just change the channel, just get away from it, But that sorrow has a right to be there as much as kindness in this world, in this impermanent world on fire, where the bus will not keep going forever. It will not keep going forever. Yeah. Yeah. And it's so much the come of in our ordinary days of riding our buses, and doing our lives. In some ways, keeps us from touching into deeper sorrow or deeper kindness, I think. It's kind of in the middle zone of this kind of, all this kind of perseverative, somewhat slightly neurotic stuff that we fill our minds with to fill up the space. It just felt, the little things, important things, But so often there's neither real sorrow, nor deep, deep kindness coming forward. Not that often, Yeah, yeah, yeah. So it's from this point of view that that I feel the richness of this poem. Please have the courage to feel into your sorrow, so that metta becomes quite obvious, so that metta and kindness becomes the default position as we move through this world, as we move through our lives, little by little, little by little. We always say little by little, just a little bit more, just a little bit more, feeling some of the deeper strands of grief and sorrow, yeah, in our own lives, and how it connects to all the deeper sorrow of the world. So much suffering in the world, touching into that briefly, allowing that to have its moment too, from time to time. Yeah, not to get lost there, not to get stuck there, but to open to that too with our holding environment, to make room, how do we hold that? How do we love that into the fold of mindfulness as well, as Susan will often remind us. So so that's reflection for today. I said this before too, that this Aldous Huxley at the end of his life, you may know him, famous philosopher, plant medicine user, religious seeker, studier. He's a really rich character in psychology, spirituality. And very shortly before his death, he said, I've been here, I've been there, I've done it all, I've done all this stuff, I've explored, I've studied, but I just have one thing to say to you at the end of my life: please be a little kinder. Please be a little kinder. So I leave that with you. I sometimes I remember when the Dalai Lama was asked what his religion was. He said, "My religion is compassion." Yeah, yeah. I was thinking today, that's a little oversimplification, but in some sense, if somebody were to ask me today, right now, what my religion were, I would say it's kindness. Yeah, yeah, kindness. Yeah, yeah. Certainly, it's become much more important in my practice and in my life. Yeah, mm, yeah. So metta, 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 metta. Yeah. Thank you all for your kind attention. Mhm. Mm. So let's practice a little bit together, okay? Let's open up. And coming to this breath of life, this breath of life. Feeling into it and orienting toward comfort. And softening. And bringing the heart into it, that sense of care, caring attention. Kindly attention. And softening around this amazing breath that continues to sustain us, the rhythm of that breath. And softening around everything else that arises in our field of experience. Welcome in, welcome in. And in the last few minutes of the meditation, softly, tenderly, Thank you, everybody. Yeah.
Thank you, everyone. Let me stop the recording.